Welcome to DowerChin.com. Today we're going to take a look at a case for the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. This is a case from Koolband, and you can see from this thing it is a, well, kind of a cool looking case. It's a two-tone colored case, and we see it's got ample openings down here for the ports. All right, it's a bit tighter than some of the ones I've seen before. Um, the interesting thing about this case is that it's got this big kickstand, big squeaky kickstand. It's not a very thick case, so it's not super flexible, but it's not super rigid either. You see that from the dimensions here for the bezel, it doesn't really it's not a very thick case, which is depending on what you're looking for, may not be a bad thing. I found one quirky thing about the case already is that there's no hole up top here for the up top microphone, so that may or may not be a problem. So let's put my phone in here. Now the phone I have here, my Note 8, actually has a membrane screen protector on top of it. So let's see if it actually adversely affects it or not. All right, goes right in, and it doesn't really do anything. So it doesn't affect the case, which is good. It didn't bulge it or pop it out like I've seen with one of my other ones. So the nice thing about it is that the buttons themselves do come out. They kind of pop out a bit so that you can kind of feel along the edges for the different buttons. The volume rocker is a solid button, so it's kind of like there's no notch for the up and down, and then there's the Bixby button over here. All right, so let's take a look down here, and we'll see kind of where the ports are. All right, so everything's lined up okay, and there's not a lot of the hole here for the headphone jack is kind of small. So let's start plugging some things in and see what we get. All right, so I'll start off with my headphones. So this is the extension cable for my newer headphones. You see it's kind of a thin connector here, so you can kind of plug in. All right, no problem. Found it. Goes in right nice and easy, which is good. Now we look at my stereo, my old studio headphones, and it's got a bigger body here, and it just doesn't go in. It's actually kind of butt up against the case there, so it just won't go into the hole, which is kind of unfortunate. So depending on what kind of headphones you have, if it's got a big thicker connector like this, you may be in trouble. All right, so let's take a look at the USB-C port here. Now this is the cable that came with the phone, so plug that in, see what happens. All right, goes in, no problem. You hear the bing here for charging. It is pretty tight though, so the tolerances are pretty much made for this cable. So if you have a thicker one, like say you have a third-party cable, it may or may not fit. So that's something you consider. It's kind of a tight spot here. Okay, S Pen access. All right, so it's kind of a small opening, so you can sort of thumb it still, and use your fingernail to pull it out, which is all right. So it's I guess it protects it, but it's just a big square notch out of the side of the case there. But all right, you can get to it, so not a problem. The case itself, it's flat on the table. Doesn't really wiggle too much. So that's good. So you won't have any issues if you're leaving it on the table to use the S Pen with. And the big draw here, obviously, is the kickstand, the squeaky kickstand. So the cool thing about it is it's a big kickstand here, so you can actually lay it in portrait mode. Not many cases can do portrait mode standing, so you can see how it stands it up pretty sturdily. Pretty not gonna go anywhere, which is good. And then because the kickstand is big this way, you can actually lay it in either side in landscape mode. So it's kind of nice. So squeaking, it's kind of funny, but I guess it doesn't really bother me too much. As you can see from here, once again, it's not a very thick case, so let's go measure it. The phone itself is 9mm, so you can see how much this will bring it up to. So about 11.5, a little over 11.5 millimeters in thickness. So not too bad, and it won't make it that much bigger. All right, so last thing I want to do is wireless charging. All right, so we'll use this charger that came with my bonus for pre-ordering the Note 8. Let's see if it actually works. I'll set it over here, put it down like so, and it doesn't do anything. Nope, no go, no love. That's disappointing. How about if I lay it down on the table here? Oh. Nope. I got it to work once before, but I guess not now. So sadly, it looks like even though this case is not very thick, I'm not sure if this little thing over here, this little piece of kind of like metal here, that actually might be interfering with the wireless charger. It's kind of funny. It's because it really shouldn't, but it does. It just is just not going to go. So that's unfortunate. So the two things I found funny with this case then is the fact that it's missing a hole for the top microphone, which may or may not be a deal breaker, and wireless charging is definitely not going to go, which is unfortunate. So there you have it. A look at this Koolband case for the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. You know, I kind of like the case because it's not too thick, and the kickstand is pretty handy, so you can actually lay it this way in portrait or landscape mode, and the buttons themselves are kind of easy to find because they bump out. But the wireless charging and the missing top here, a hole here for the microphone, could be a deal breaker for some. So yeah, I guess if you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, feel free to leave them for me. And as always, like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.